Hey squad, welcome back. First off, let me extend my deepest thanks and appreciation to you for helping me cross the 15,000 subscriber threshold. I'm absolutely over the moon, and it's all down to you and your support over the years. I'm still a very small channel, but my commitment is to continue to bring you high quality content that will help you on your music production journey. So stick with me on this journey as we continue to build out this community, and that way I can continue to bring you value in my videos from week to week. Now, as for today's video, we're going to be stepping back into the realm of hip hop. And one of my favorite hip hop artists of all time is The Roots. Those guys have been around since the 1980s and they're still going strong now. What is their secret? What is it about that band, that group, that outfit that continues to keep them relevant? For me, they are true artists. They are great musicians and they always deliver a powerful message. So this video in particular is going to be inspired by my love for the music of The Roots. So I hope you find value in it too. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and leave me a comment. This will continue to build my channel so it reaches more and more people. Anyway, enough chat, let's get to it. Okay, so the production is actually going to be based on this chord progression that I'm going to show you. And I'm going to be using one of Logic's stock grand pianos, the Bosendorfer grand piano. So now I'll play you the chord progression in its fluid form, and then I'll do a slowed down version so you can actually see what the chord shapes look like. So here are the actual chords in block form. Tempo is a little bit slow. We should be really running at around 90 BPM, so I'm going to bump that up a bit, and then we'll start adding other layers on top. Okay, so we've got the main keys down, and it's time to add the additional layers. Now, if you are going to be producing a track in the vibe of a particular band or group, what you want to do is make sure you survey and have a look at the sort of instruments they generally use, musicians that you'd see appearing in their music videos or in their concert videos and so on, and that'll give you an idea as to what sounds are generally represented in the overall sound. Now with The Roots, of course, we've got two frontmen, Black Thought on vocals and Questlove on the drums, providing the heart of the musical element. And then around those two, we generally have bass, guitars, and keyboards. Okay, sometimes we have percussion and other elements, but those are the core musicians or instruments that you would find in a Roots song. So it makes sense now for me to lay down some guitar vibes just to start building up the picture. And once again, we're going to be using a Logic preset, the Blaxploitation preset, as I've shown you in one of my previous videos. But although I started with the preset, I've done a couple of modifications. And the first thing I've done on the amp is reduce some of the bass. Let's hit compare. So this is where the bass control was. I've cut some of the bass and I've increased some presence. Let's switch that back like so. So you can see I've increased presence there and I've cut some of the bass. The other thing I've done on the pedal board is I've switched in the phase tripper, a blue echo, and auto funk. And I've made some slight adjustments to all of these pedals just to fit the vibe of this particular production. Okay, so for now, I'm just going to lay down some very basic chords, and then I'll do a separate track with some basic licks as well. So let's get these down. Okay, so those are my basic chords. What I'll do is, in fact, I'm going to change the very last chord from this to this chord. Okay, but of course, like I said before, I'm not a guitarist, so I'm going to have to punch this in later on. So let me put down the licks now. Okay, that last note sounded a bit dodgy, but we'll fix that. Okay, let's move on to the next section. Okay, so I'm about to add one of my favorite instruments, the bass guitar, and I'm bringing it in a bit early because I've come up with a bass line that I think is really going to set the tone of this overall production. So what we got here on the channel strip is the Hi-Fi DI, and I've also added the Waves CLA bass module, which is a wonderful plugin for adding extra warmth and detail to your electric bass recordings. Anyway, let's get this bass line down. Okay, so now we're going to get those drums down, and I'm going to be using this kick and snare combo. Okay, you can hear at the end of the kick sample there's like a breath sound, which is going to add some ambience to the rhythm section. So what I'm going to do right now is lay down 4 bars of solid drums and then copy those over to create an 8-bar section. I'm going to do some fills as well, but I'm just going to let it run and keep adding layers one after the next. Okay, so let's do it. Now, for the kick drum, we're going to quantize to 1/16 swing F. Shaker right here. This is the one I want. I want to add this to the production. Let's pull the volume down. Let's repeat that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a slight delay to that shaker just to offset it just a touch, so it's a little bit behind time. I'll cut away now, add the rest of the bits, and then I'll come back with all of this bit arranged, and then we'll move things forward with any further ideas. Okay, so we've got the drums down, and I've begun arranging things and setting up some levels just to make sure that we're mixing as we go along. We don't want to leave it all until the very end, and it becomes a bit of a mammoth task. And I'm now going to put down a very simple guitar hook that's going to be repeated throughout the piece. So we'll use the second one, this one here. I tell you what guys, it's so difficult trying to keep the video length down. There's so much I want to show you, there's so much I want to include, but sometimes in order to just reduce the length of the video, I have to do things off screen, offline, and then show you the results after. So the vibe is building up, and I've added a brass section which sounds like this. I want to add some vocal samples, and I've got some ideas for a string section, which of course I'll include, and then I'll show you what the parts are once I've put them down. Okay, so we're back. Now this is not yet mixed, and it's going to sound a bit cluttered, I'm sure, but I've got all of the key elements that I want to have in this production now. So I played you the brass section. Now here's the string section. So I'm going to bring in the strings. So of course I'm using disco strings. Again, these are all Logic sounds. I haven't ventured outside of Logic for any of these sounds or instruments. The other thing I've added right here is I've jumped onto Splice, and I've looked for a one-shot vocal hook just to have as a repeating sample idea. And the other thing I've done is I've gone online and I've had a look for speeches by Martin Luther King, and I've found this one, and I've just cut a section from the speech, and it'll be sitting within the mix just to add again some ambience. Okay, and the final thing I've added, in fact, I searched for a vocal sample I could use from something I've done in the past, and I found something that was a background vocal to a song I did many years ago. Just have a quick listen. So what I've got here is Nectar 3, and I'm using the harmonizer in Nectar 3 to create a 3-part harmony of this solo vocal. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go away, I'm going to mix this, then I'll come back and we'll play out with the final mix. Okay, so the track is built, I've mixed it, and we're going to play out. So remember, if I'm bringing you value, don't forget to like the video and check back soon for more. I'm Deuce, I'm out. Peace.